Today we are going to crochet this nice warm winter hat. It is very stretchy. It looks like knit, but it is crochet. And stay with me if you'd like to see how to crochet it. We'll need a yarn. I'm using Charisma, which is also in the color Sky Tweed. Crochet hook, which this one is going to be an 8mm crochet hook. A needle to tie in your ends at the end, and then scissors to cut off. One, two, three, 5, 6. That's 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. 30. 40. So you will have 40 chains, and you are going to do a chain 1, and then you're going to go with your first slip stitch back into, you're going to skip this one, and you're going to slip stitch into the second, and then you're going to slip stitch into every back stitch all the way until the end. You could definitely go back and put a stitch marker into that first stitch if you would like. That way you know how far you have to go into the last stitch, and then you can also put one on the other end if you would like. I'll meet you at the other end. Okay, and then you would go into the last stitch, your last slip stitch, and then you will chain 1 and turn your work, and then you are going to, this is your slip stitch, your chain 1, you're going to slip stitch into the back stitches only all the way back across. So don't get confused by this. This is the row we're working in, this back row. Because now you're going to see it's going to start to form your row that's going to look like a knit stitch. the braid. So it's kind of like the third stitch you're working into, and just slip stitch all the way back. Then I'll meet you back at the other end so you can see it gets a little tight at the end, so you want to make sure that you're getting into every stitch. So now we're back at the end of row 3, and these are your last 2 stitches you're going to work into. 1, and then this would be your last one, and I sometimes pull it up because sometimes it gets a little hard to find. So then you're going to chain 1, turn your work, and now you're going to slip stitch back into that first stitch, and you're going to go all the way back again. Now if you'd like to move your stitch marker so you know where you are, you can move your stitch marker. In fact, sometimes it might be easier to know where the stitch is with the stitch marker. That way your work doesn't start to get crooked, and then you'll have nice even rows. But you can see how it's starting to give the nice braid of a stitch on both sides. And then you're going to work back and forth until your desired size. Alright, so here we are. I have worked 78 rows, and I'm going to stitch up the last 2. I'm going to line them up. And then we're going to work into the back loops only for so that we sew up the last and make the hat the last row. So just take your time. Sometimes it's hard to find or to line it up and get it right, so just take your time and do that. Yeah, so I ended up having, all right, so there it is, and then you can see which side you would like to use as to flip it up. I personally want to flip up this side, so I'm going to stitch this side to make it my hat. So I'm going to cut my yarn, going to make my knot, and then I am going to, I wasn't sure if I was going to use this side or this side, but this one I feel like is a little bit more straighter. Otherwise I might have left like extra yarn here so that I could stitch it without having to use an extra piece. But because I didn't leave enough yarn here, I'm just going to use an extra piece to then form the hat, the top of the hat. So I'm just going to start at the end here and work my way around the perimeter of the hat. Actually, I think I'm going to go this way. And I'm just going to pick up all the tops, loops. This one, and then I will show you the final result. So I just go through and tuck them through. It doesn't have to be elaborate. Sometimes I go this way, then I go back up, but why not, right? I go back up to the middle, and then I cut it. There's one, and then I will do the rest. All right, I tucked all my strings, and I'm going to flip it over, and then here you go. That's your beanie. And flip it up, and then could always get you could do bigger. I just have small ones, but you can always put a pom-pom at the top. You can make your own pom-pom, but yeah, there you go. So if you like this, it does take a little bit longer, but it's very stretchy, very warm, and you have a nice winter hat.